Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's video. Just had a few things I wanted to go over real fast. First, our usual shout out of appreciation to all of our patrons out there. We appreciate all those tips and support, and hope you guys are enjoying the videos that we put out for you guys exclusively every single week, including the How to Deal Craps instructional set that is ongoing. And if you're curious about it, go ahead and check the description of the video down below. And also, I wanted to go over, we've had a couple of questions about the this little neon light thing that we've been putting on some of our other videos. So if anybody's interested in one of these, just shoot us an email at sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. And so I did another test of our live stream, another attempt to do the live stream. So I now know that I have the right equipment, the right camera, the right programming, able to get all of that done. Unfortunately, what I did discover is that my computer was not strong enough, was not powerful enough to be able to encode and upload it as an actual live stream. So I'm going to continue tweaking with that, although it may turn out that I'm just going to have to wait until I can afford to buy a newer, more powerful computer for that. So that will be on the list. So it does look like live streaming may not be as upcoming as I was hoping. It's going to take us a little bit of time to generate that up. And otherwise, please make sure you email us with any questions, strategies, anything you would like us to video. We love shooting these videos for you guys. If not, I'm going to go straight into today's video. So for today's video, I want to go over an email that was sent to us by Brad, a strategy that he tries to employ. So let's take a look at this email. Okay, it works off of the Iron Cross, which, as we've said before, is not a bad strategy. It's actually one of the better strategies for its simplicity and ease if you use it for building up to other strategies, things along those lines. At its core, the Iron Cross is just same bet, same bet, same bet. It's actually one of the weakest strategies, but it's a strong strategy if you use it in addition to other strategies such as mid-presses, regressions, mid-presses, stuff like that. So he goes off of a Iron Cross core. So he says he's going to assume that it's a $15 table. Now, looks like he would do the, okay, so he works on the come out. So what he does 66 inside working on the come out. So that's, again, 3 units, so he's doing a $15 table. $66 working on the come out. Okay, I actually like working bets that work on the come out. Do I do this very often? Nah, I really don't, because I run off of slightly different strategies. It kind of depends on what's going on the table, but I don't have a problem with working on the come out. Sure, you win on the pass line on 7, but nobody's playing for the 7. People that sit there and scream and cheer when 5 7s come out on a come out roll, so they get paid. To most dealers, we're kind of laughing internally because you're screaming and cheering because the shooter seems to be able to roll a whole bunch of 7s. It's usually superstitious people, so to them, they assume this shooter is good at rolling 7s. Is kind of how they're looking at it, and that just doesn't make sense to me. If you think the person's good at rolling 7s, you really don't want to be betting on them. But since we're not playing 4 or 7, we're playing 4 numbers. I like the working on the come out part of the strategy. The only downside to it is that I have noticed on most super long rolls, it goes through multiple points, and oftentimes there is a 7 or 2 on the come out. So the long 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 minute rolls typically do have some 7s. They are just lucky enough to fall on the come out roll, so you don't end up losing all of your bets. So that's the downside to working on the 7, but working on the come out. But I do like working on the come out. So this gives you a number. This gives you basically half of the numbers, the combinations of the dice, right here within these 4 numbers. Right? There's 36 combinations of the dice. You've got 18 of them right here. You have 18 out of 30 non-7, non-losing combos. So I do like this part. So on the first hit, regardless of what hits, it doesn't matter what hits. So we could say an 8 rolls, okay? We'll say a 9 rolls, just so we could keep with the Iron Cross without actually showing, without having to place the point. So we'll pretend 9 rolls, okay? So that pays $21, okay? The player throws in $1. So now they're invested $66 into this. And why are they throwing in $1? Because they are pressing themselves up to an 88 inside situation. I like it. I already consider this fairly strong. Now on the second hit, regardless of what hits, they're going to fully regress. So any of these are going to pay the same. They're all going to pay $28, right? So he is going to drop down to $18 each on the 6 and 8. Right? So there's going to regress all the way down to the table minimum. $15 field. And then hopping the 5s, the two-way 5s. Okay, so he's dropping down to the Iron Cross-ish. I'm not going to go over the nickname that a lot of dealers have for the hopping the 5s version of the Iron Cross. This right here, before we get into the next, before I even read the rest of the email, because again, I haven't read through this. I like to go into these cold. This right here is the only part that I would say I absolutely do not like in any way, shape, or form. I understand that this is, or I'm guessing that this is going to be used to springboard to further bets. But this portion right here is extraordinarily weak, and there's two reasons why. This is one of the absolute worst ways to try and complete your Iron Cross, and we've gone over this in a few other videos. It's just absolutely terrible. And then this part right here. A good Iron Cross has more units placed up here than in the field. All right, right here, let's assume of 5 rolls. For 5 rolls, this player is actually losing $1. They lose the 15 here, and they only make 14 off of the hopper. If anything, if a 6 or an 8 rolls, they're making a whopping $6. $4 actually, because they lost this right here, so they would have to replace that. So this portion right here I absolutely hate, but he's using it as a springboard to the rest of his strategy, so I'm sure this is going to work out well. There's most of these strategies that are set by you guys are really well thought out. So let's take a look. So we break down into this version of the Iron Cross, and at this point, he says the third hit you're just going to collect no matter what happens. So again, I'm going to go down to the I absolutely cannot stand this now. So we've collected $63 here. We have $63 here. We were $67 invested. So at this point, it definitely is pretty close to a break-even point. However, again, this portion right here is extraordinarily weak, especially if you're going to just same bet the next bet, because you're either going to make $13 if you hit a field number and have to replace that, you make a whopping $13, or you hit, say, a 6 or an 8, in which case you make $4, or you hit a 5, in which case you lose $1. So same betting here is just, you're not making much. It's almost pointless. The next roll, whatever happens, just keep going on to your strategy so you can try and make some money. Okay. So he says the next hit you bank, and the next 1 or 2 rolls, then place the 5 for 15 and quit the hot bet. So you're going to go through the next few rolls where you're going to make either $4 or you're going to make $13. You're going to bank them so that you can then place this point. I would strongly suggest skipping the whole banking thing and the next hit goes straight to getting your $15 5. Right? Or just when you regress, just drop down to that right away. Sure, you lose some of what you have banked, so you're now only up to $48 there from your $67 invested. But you would have a almost true, almost proper, almost useful Iron Cross, and you would only be $19 invested into the roll. Not too shabby. Again, these should be 4 units. These should be 4 units if this is going to be 3. But to each their own, however they choose to do it. So at this point, you're going to stop with the hops. And now you're going to use, now at this point, you're going to use every single roll to press one of these numbers. because you're going to make $6. If any of these roll, you're going to make $6 in profit. And you're not going to bank anything. You're just going to press these up until you can get to the greens. Okay? So maybe you're lucky enough that a couple of them hit the same number a few times, and that will get you to your green a lot faster versus having to piecemeal $6 at a time. Would take 6 more hits to get these up there. Well, actually a little bit less because they would have pressed up. But you're going to slowly press them up until you get to your greens at this point. And your $15 field. And now they say at this point the shooter has rolled 6 to 8 times. No. At this point the shooter has rolled way more than 6 to 8 times. Way more, because you have to remember, first hit brought you up to 88. Second hit you drop down to the iron cross-ish. Next 2 you banked. Next one after that you place the 5. So that's 5 rolls right there. So this is already coming up real close to the statistical likelihood of it finishing out if it hasn't already finished out. And now you're going to build these up to greens, which is going to take at the bare minimum 4 or 5 more hits. So before you have built these up into the greens. And then he says at this point he'd probably go to 96 across and start power pressing there, or mid pressing, to try and push towards the table max, or at least a strong bet. It says he'd use a bankroll of $1,000, and that way he'd have at least 10 to 15 shooters worth of bankroll. So not a terrible strategy. It's not a bad strategy, but it's got some weaknesses. The problem with this is this strategy is just flat out losing money until the shooters hit about 10 to 12 rolls of the dice. At that point, you're probably starting to push into a break-even point, because again, you're looking at 9 or 10 rolls of the dice just to get yourself up into the greens, and you would have banked far less than your initial investment. So that's the primary weakness. This particular strategy is looking at I'd say about a 15-minute roll before you even begin to break even. So this is a strategy that in the long term, unless you get lucky at the very beginning, the first 2, 3, or 4 shooters, to catch a 20 to 40-minute roll, this is a strategy that is going to torch you pretty bad. Like I said earlier, I would eliminate that hopping part and the banking $4 at a time part. That's just going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you all the way around, no matter what you do. You know, you're banking your $4, $13, or negative $1 twice. It's pointless. Skip that. Go straight into your bet right here. Or what I would suggest is just start with this, but instead, because again, let's take a look at this, okay? So, like we said, this is losing money. You're $67 invested until the 3rd hit of the dice. And then the 3rd hit of the dice, you regress it down, and you're only, say, $3 invested, but you're still losing, or $4. You're still losing money until about the 11th or 12th roll of the dice. No matter what, you're losing money. Even if it's a small amount of money, you're losing money until the 11th or 12th roll of the dice. So let's look at some other ways that you could do this. $68 right here, plus 15. Okay, $68 plus 15. You're looking at $83, right? $83. Again, you've got a $1,000 bankroll. You're looking at least 12 shooters of the dice. So on the come out roll, why not work your iron cross here? Work your iron cross here. You've still got the true iron cross, right? Because you've got 4 units here and 3 units over there. Now, it does not matter what hits. What makes you the least amount of money is hitting one of these numbers. Okay? That makes you the least amount of money. So let's pretend that one of these numbers hits. Okay? So you're going to lose this. You're going to make your $28. Put that in there. Take $1. Press these up to green. That's hit number 1. Now we're looking at worst case scenarios, right? Worst case scenario number 2 would be for the 5 to hit. So if the 5 hits, you're going to lose here. You're going to get paid $28 there. Put your field back. You get green here. Now you've collected $9. Now, worst case scenario would actually be field numbers hitting. So let's say the field rolls twice. You've collected a total of $30, assuming that you didn't have a 2 or 12 there. You could also press this up $5. So you could keep these, but I actually prefer, generally when I look at an Iron Cross, I think that you should have a couple units less than what you've got up here. So we've done this worst case scenarios, 4 rolls of the dice. Worst case scenarios, 4 rolls of the dice. You have banked $39 on an $83 initial investment. That puts you $44 invested into this. And that is a worst case scenario of these 4 numbers, of these first 4 rolls. Now, if you choose, now best case scenario, you've actually made a little bit more. Instead of making 15, you could have made 20. It's only $5 extra, but you add $10 more to that, and you're looking at $49. You're only at this point invested $30-something into your roll. And now, under his strategy, he would have some same bets in there, but the same bets would only make you $13, $4, or negative $1. At this point, you same betted on the 3rd and 4th rolls instead of further along, and now you could same bet a couple more times and build that investment back up, build your bankroll back up, and minimize your initial investment into this roll a little bit easier. So, I mean, if you same bet, if you hit a couple of these and same bet, you make $20 instead of 15. So you make $40 more, add $40 more to that, and you're still only 6 rolls into this. And at that point, you're at your break-even point. You could cut the strategy in half, hitting the break-even point so much faster and hitting the profitability point so much quicker, and that would break you even on far more shooters. If you don't hit your break-even point to your 11th or 12th roll of the dice, even to the 10th roll of the dice, you're going to lose money. It's a slow circle of death down the drain. If you're able to hit your break-even point on the 5th or 6th roll of the dice, you're going to get far more shooters that break you even, and a lot more shooters that build you up a tiny little bit of profit. So that would be my recommendation to the strategy, but it's not a bad strategy. So thank you very much, Brad, for sending this to us. We appreciate it. We love shooting these videos for you guys. We will catch you guys next time. Bye now. Okay, guys, so as I promised at the end of the videos, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the live stream and how it's going to work. So the first thing is, if you're interested in being one of the players for our craps tournaments, which we're going to have every single week, please email us at sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. I need the email addresses and want to know who is interested so that we can get it set up and we can select it. I'm going to have the first round is going to be 16 players. There'll be 4 players per week. The 5th week is going to be the 4 champions from the previous weeks to get an ultimate champion. I haven't decided yet what the prize will be. Maybe I'll see if I can pick up another one of these lights. But we'll have some sort of prize for our champion. So please, if you're interested, email us. I want to pick the first 8 players, the first 2 weeks worth of players, so that we'll have the first 4 ready for the first week, and the other 4 will be kind of backup, just in case somebody has connection issues or something comes up and they're not able to play that week. Then I've got the other players on standby, so I can just bump one of them up or maybe shift the first person down or something along those lines. The main tournament is going to be Thursdays at 6 o'clock. My time, Las Vegas time, 6 p.m. Las Vegas time. And it's the way it's going to work is it's going to be a time thing. I'm going to do the live stream for an hour. I'm going to do the game for an hour, rather. And it might work out to about 30 rolls, might work out to about 40 rolls. I'm not too sure. We'll see how it goes. But it's going to be time. It's going to be an hour. Instead of the craps tournaments that they do down on the strip where it's 30 rolls, we're going to do an hour. So I want to make sure I have a finite time limit for this to start with, and then we will go from there. I'm going to find a way, either a Discord or a Zoom or a private chat room, some way for the players to be logged into something where I can communicate with them on my second computer so that they can tell me what their bets are, what they want to bet, what they want to press when something hits, without me having to scroll through the full chat of the live stream itself. I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on that. And if we have enough people watching and chatting, it could be difficult to keep an eye. So I have to figure that part out. Another reason I need the emails, so I can communicate back and forth with the potential players. So if you're interested, again, please email me. Eventually, just pretty much everybody's going to have an opportunity to be in on these things because we're going to do multiple ones. I'm also looking at probably doing a second craps tournament, maybe late Wednesday nights, possibly, I'm not sure, where I'm going to do it a little bit different. The second one is going to be, instead of 1 hour and then whoever's got the most chips is the winner, because those craps tournaments tend to have really weird strategies. They're not normal strategies that you'd see in normal play, because you're competing against other players and you just want to make sure you have more chips than them by the end. What I'm going to do with the second tournament is, instead of a weekly winner, we're going to play for an hour, and then I'll keep track of how much money people still have on their, or how many chips they still have. And then the next week, same players are going to keep going. Basically, this game will go until the bankrolls end, until we have one person with money left, or chips left. Again, there's no money involved in this. So once we have one final winner, so people will drop out as their play money bankrolls expire, as they run out of chips. So that one, I'm guessing we'll see some more normal strategies, the kind of things people actually play when they're actually playing craps. And then eventually we're going to add Baccarat, Pai Gow, 3-card poker, blackjack, of course, to these tournaments. Whatever we can, to these live streams and live stream tournaments, whatever we can, when we can, as best we can. We're going to have to figure it out as we go. We have a lot of time constraints between me working full-time plus a child. But we're going to do the best we can. We're very, very excited to have this going. And we also will try and pick a day or time where I can do a patron-exclusive tournament or two. We'll see. We'll see how many of our patrons are interested, and see if we can't get that going as well, where it's only on the patron site. So definitely stay tuned, guys. Please, if you're interested in playing in one of the tournaments or partaking in our live streams, aside from just the chat, obviously it's a live stream. Please watch, chat with us, let us know how it's going or what you think, and otherwise, please, again, email us, sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Any suggestions, please hit us up. Thank you guys very, very much. We appreciate every single one of you guys, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.